Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take a quick look at the board game Space Checkers. Space Checkers is a game for 2 to 4 players, ages 6 and up, and the average play time is about 20 minutes. Space Checkers plays a little like regular checkers, but there's a few different rules in here that sets it apart and gives the game a unique twist. Let's just take a quick moment to look at the components, and then we'll check out how the game is played. Alright, and these are the basic components that come with the game. You've got a game board, you've got some UFO pieces here, and you've got 2 dice. One is numbered and one has colors on it. To set up the game, a player will get 12 UFOs of their own color, and they'll go ahead and put them on their colored squares. In this particular instance, it's a blue versus red game. The blue pieces are set up on the blue side, and the red pieces are set up on the red side. During a player's turn, they're going to go ahead and roll these 2 dice. The numbered dice tells the player how many spaces a UFO should move, while the colored die tells the person in what direction they should move one of their pieces. In this case, I rolled a green dice, so I would be moving one of these pieces toward the green side of the board. So 1 die for movement and 1 die for direction. Now there's a few rules to keep in mind when you're moving your pieces. For one, you cannot jump over pieces of your own color. 2, you cannot jump over the center square, which happens to be Earth. 3, in order to jump over an enemy piece, there needs to be an empty space directly behind it. So let's say I had rolled a 5 and this red color. I would, in theory, be able to move 1, 2, jump 3, 4, 5, and then I would take the captured piece and put it into my score area. Another rule worth mentioning is that you can actually move or warp off of the side of the board and appear on the other side. For example, let's say this blue piece was, there, that's good, and I rolled a 4, and I went ahead and rolled a wild. Wild meaning that I can move any direction I want to. I would go 1, warp, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, you could do that on any end of the board that you want. One final thing worth mentioning is that directly across from you is a wild zone. If you manage to get one of your pieces all the way across the board to the other side in these last 4 rows, your piece will then be in the wild zone. Now, the benefits of doing that is that you'll be able to ignore the movement die, or the movement direction die, and move in any direction that you want to. You'll still have to follow the movement number die, but you'll be able to ignore the movement direction die. And that's basically it. The first player to capture 10 of their opponent's pieces wins the game. Okay, and just to quickly illustrate, Vinny and I are just going to play a few practice turns. So Vinny, go ahead and roll the dice. He's red, I'm blue. And you've got a 6 and a wild. 6. Okay, now it's my turn. 2 and wild. Alright, well, let's move this guy up 2. Two and wild. Alright. 4 and blue. Let's see, that means I have to move toward my own direction. Alright, now this would be legal. Since I'm moving this way, I could warp this guy off the side of my board, jump over this piece, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would then capture this red piece. Alright, now Vinny's turn. 1 and blue. Okay. 2 and wild. I'm getting lucky apparently. So now I can take this piece or possibly double jump. Let's warp this guy off the back end of my board and 1, 2. Benny's getting mad.
That is cruel.
1 blue. That means you have to move one of your UFOs toward me. Alright. Okay, now I jumped ahead just a little bit to save on time. Vinny went ahead and rolled a 2 and a blue, meaning that he has to move one of his pieces toward the blue side. But he's opting to do something else at this point, so go ahead and do what you're going to do. 1, 2. Now what he did there, he ignored the movement color die because he's in the last 4 rows directly across from him. So again, that is his wild zone, and that is considered legal. My turn? Alright. 5 and blue. That means I have to move
4.
Now, I could try this. I could move this guy off the back of my board 1, 2, but I can't jump over the center area, so that would not be legal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get to go. 6 in blue. Now that 4, 5, there you go. So you get to capture that one. 4 yellow. Alright, well I can 1, 2, 3, 4. Five in red. So you get to move. Now keep in mind you can't warp and take this because then you don't have you have too many spaces and you'd end up hitting this area. But you could do something else to capture one of my pieces. Now let's think before you move. What is the only piece you can warp off the back of the board? Alright, good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move one more. There you go. And you captured my blue one. 4 wild. Now keep in mind that even though I got a wild, I could technically ignore that if I want to, if I were to move this piece, or this piece, because it's in Vinny's wild zone. I'm going to move this guy to the right 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a shame I didn't get another number, or else I could have jumped that one too. 4 and wild. So he could take one of my pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Alright. 3 wild. Alright. Wild, I guess I'll move 1, 2, 3. 3 yellow. No, I set myself up for that. 3. There you go. 4 blue.
You're trapped right here.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You just set yourself up.
1. You could. You could take something. There you go. You jumped. There you go.
There you go.
Warp and jump.
Yeah, you're not.
9 to 8. It's close. 6. All right. Well, I'm going to exercise my right to move any direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, you won.
Yeah, barely. 10 to 8. Very good game. And there you have it. That's just a very quick look at the game Space Checkers. It's an okay game, but it relies a little bit too much on luck for my taste. But the game is flexible enough to where you could create your own variants. For example, you could eliminate warping from the equation. You can eliminate the movement die from the equation if you wanted to. Different things like that. And then you'll have to rely a little bit more on strategy instead of luck. You can check out the written review at www.dadsgamingaddiction.com, or you can click on the link in the below description that'll take you there as well. This is Vince and Vinny Jr. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.